This is Haris Kruskic, BR Live's combat sports reporter, and today we're here with AEW TNT Champion, Darby Allin. Darby, how are you?
Howdy. I'm doing good. A lot better than last week.
So first and foremost, we're only a couple weeks removed from you winning the AEW TNT Championship. How sweet was that moment to finally get AEW Gold?
Oh, that was insane. And to do it on my own terms, as myself, 100%. Like, I came into this company as Darby Allin, and I became champion as Darby Allin. I didn't have to change who the hell I was, and that was the best part of it all.
So you won the belt over Cody. Was it surreal? Did it feel symbolic winning it over Cody after making your AEW debut against him?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it against anybody else. Nobody else. Coming into the company, I was a little unsure of myself at times, and that leading up to that debut. And then the moment after I had that match with Cody the first time, I knew I belonged in the main event scene. So to fast forward to our fourth match at Full Gear, it was something special.
And what does it mean for you to be TNT champion?
It means that I could be the face of this company, like I said, as myself. And now I got to hustle. That's what it means. Is now I got to hustle. And I got to make this belt, this championship, mean as much as physically possible while I have it. And that's my goal. I'm out there filming, doing as much stuff as possible. So
you talk about hustle. Your journey to not only TNT Gold or AEW Gold, but just to get to AEW is frankly kind of improbable. You've talked about having to overcome a lot of personal things as well, just overcoming the wrestling industry in general. Do you ever look back and think like, wow, it's kind of amazing that I've made it this far?
Yeah, I try to stop and smell the roses as much as possible, but sometimes it's hard when you're constantly in that hustle mode. But when I do think of it, like I'll stumble upon something that, because I've been in wrestling now for about 5.5 years. So like when I stumble upon something from like year one of me wrestling, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. This is insane. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing my best, Ryan.
Absolutely. So was there any point in your time on the independent scene where you were thinking, you know what, maybe this won't work out for me. Maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing?
Well, in the beginning, when I was up in Washington State, that area, the Northwest, there wasn't really a scene at all. And if there was a scene, those people would only book their friends. So I was never even, they would always be like, oh yeah, like, I would never wrestle. That first year, I never had any matches. I would only go to like wrestling camps because I saw the writing on the wall is like, this is friendship championship wrestling, and I don't want to play around with this shit. So I split early on and moved away and just tried to hustle as much as possible. But there was definitely times I doubted myself when people told me I should just be grateful to even be on the show, and why do you think you deserve to be at the main event spot? And I knew in my heart that I wasn't going to settle for less. So here now.
We're glad you're here now. So we've heard various people and fans and media outlets call you one of the faces of counterculture, quote unquote. What do you think about that? I think it mostly has to do with you just being so different in the wrestling industry alone, and it's hard to be different in the wrestling industry. So do you agree with that? What are your just general thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with it because I'm bringing my world into wrestling. I'm not recycling wrestling back into wrestling. I'll bring the skateboarding, the stunts, the filmmaking, whatever it is that I'm very passionate about into the world of wrestling, because there's a lot of people that I've known that all they've ever known in life is just professional wrestling. So they enter wrestling and it's just recycled of what they've known, as opposed to like where I'm trying to bring in everything outside of the world. And it gets those fans that may have fallen out of love with it more like, oh shit, this is something unique and different. Because there's only so much steroid dudes we can see before we lose our minds.
Have any promoters ever told you to change or ever tried to, make you do something that you just were like, you know what, this isn't me?
They told me to get wrestling gear, and I said, hell no. Hell to the no. And that's about it. So.
Gotcha. So how did you meet guys like Tony Hawk and Steve-O? I've seen you work with them recently. Was it something that AEW set up? Did you know them personally already?
No, like that was all me. That was all me. I just, they started following me on Instagram, and then one thing led to another, and I sent him a message and told him my goal with wrestling is to bring as much, weird shit from the outside world into it, and like they were on board with it. So that was a crazy time filming all that stuff. There was a lot of hustling going into that. Film that day with Tony Hawk. I remember the day before he broke his finger. So I was in Arizona, and then I drove all the way to San Diego where he's from, and heard he broke his finger. So I didn't even know if he was going to do it, like be able to show up. So I was skating that ladder, trying to drop in on that ladder for 3 hours, and he wasn't even there. And I was just eating shit over and over and over. And I was like, dude, I'm going to freaking break my finger doing this. But then I guess his personal assistant was like, yo, Tony's coming. He wants to see this. So he comes, and I'm like, oh man, I can't waste his time dropping on this ladder for 2 hours eating shit. So I landed it right when he got there, and I was hyped. And he was like, holy shit, that's crazy. So
Wow,
stories like that are it's like fun, just because it's, trying to land a skate trick in a wrestling promo is very tricky.
for sure. I can only imagine. So since becoming TNT champion, have there been any other additional responsibilities that maybe you didn't have to deal with before, but now you do?
Not that I know of. I told everybody here that any media, anything, any advertisement, let's get it. Like, I want to do it all. Like, I want to make this seem as big as physically possible, because when the show ends Wednesday, I don't want to just sit on my ass Thursday. I want to be hustling every single day of the week to promote this. And yeah, man, I don't know. I want the stress. I want the pressure. So.
Well, we appreciate you doing this interview. Darby Allin, thank you again for joining us. And again, everyone catch AEW Dynamite every Wednesday on TNT at 8 p.m. Eastern. Darby, again, we appreciate you.
Take care, man. Thanks for having me.